FP1, little stoppage on track. Just talk us through what happened there first of all.
We had a failure in the power unit and had to stop, but we changed it for FP2 and had no issues, so we're not going to get any penalties or anything like that. So I got a bit of running in FP1, so it didn't lose too much, and then it started raining, so yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, and a little bit of rain in FP2 as well. How was FP2 for you with that? A little bit, obviously, more running there.
It was okay. In low fuel, but didn't really get any running in high fuel because it started raining. Just a little bit, just enough to make it irrelevant, the running. So still some question marks on the high fuel, but car felt okay on quali runs. Just need to, as always, find a bit more pace and work on things tonight.
Two very different circuits, going from Hungary with the upgrade you took there and bringing it to Spa here with the long straights and stuff. How does it compare with the running you had today?
Still same things. This is a very different track, and you run the car in a very different, window if you want, because it's a lot higher speed and you have the compression in the rouge and stuff like that affects how you can run the car mechanically. So it is a bit different, but we'll see. I mean, how we go tomorrow when it's going to be a bit more sunny and higher track temperature.
Do you think sun, temperature, better day on race day is going to be good for Haas?
I hope it is. I don't know for sure, but of course you always hope. I think we have a tendency to be like creeping forward during the weekend. So even though we're P17 today, I'm expecting to be in the fight come tomorrow.
Alex, the car looked pretty good out there from where I was sitting. Is that how it felt inside the cockpit?
It wasn't bad, yeah. We were okay out there. There seemed to be some quick midfield cars though today. Obviously the Aston Martin looked strong, McLaren looked pretty strong, so we've got our work cut out. I mean, if we look at ourselves, I'm pretty happy with where the car's at. A little bit of work to do tomorrow, but yeah, I think it's unfortunately going to be pretty boring weather-wise on Saturday and Sunday, but let's see.
But there's chances, I guess, with the engine penalties for a lot of drivers in the pack, and this circuit tends to, if it's not the weather, it tends to offer opportunities otherwise. That gives you confidence for qualifying and the race.
It does, but I mean, there's cars like Max and Charles out there with their engine penalties, so I think they'll get past pretty quickly. But yes, it's an exciting one. Hopefully, if we can gain 6 positions, it's going to put us in a close position for points. So yeah, it's all to play for.
So Nicky, how did the car feel out there? I know it wasn't ideal conditions really to go driving, was it?
Yeah, FP2 was not ideal with the mixed conditions, but FP1 I think was all okay really. Firstly, nice to be back after the summer break, and yeah, it's feeling nice. I mean, this track is always quite an enjoyable one to come back to after a break. Also makes it a bit tricky because this is one that requires a lot of commitment to get a good lap time, and obviously when you have maybe a lap or two of knocking the rust off from the few weeks out of the car. But yeah, FP1 and everything was feeling good, and I think we hit the ground running. FP2, I think, was just not really a productive session for probably most people. I mean, the track was never in a, let's say, its optimal state. I think the next 2 days is going to be a bit more consistent and dry. So, yeah, maybe not as relevant. I guess the interesting thing could become Sunday is no one really got a proper high fuel run in. So there's obviously, a lot of little things besides tire deg that's useful for. So, yeah, maybe a lot of teams will have some little bit of guessing or extrapolating to do from not a lot of data. So, yeah, nonetheless, we'll see what we could do tomorrow.
In terms of the feel of the car, I know there's been a few times this year where you haven't quite felt it. Today, I know in these conditions, but felt okay, felt like it was on the better side.
Yeah, no, it was feeling okay, and everything was feeling good from FP1. I think, just the conditions as well. I was one of the few cars on the prime tires in FP2, which then, it's just quite difficult when it's the mixed conditions like these. It's already difficult to get the temperature up. The grip is a bit unpredictable, let's say. So, especially that it's not going to be these kind of mixed conditions, let's say, the next 2 days. Not really point to risk much because you're not really learning anything. The conditions are going to be completely different come FP3 in qualifying. I mean, on one side of things, I hope not, because obviously we want a little bit of mixed conditions. But unfortunately, I think today was supposed to be the most wet day, which in the end it was not so wet. So, yeah.
And just finally, earlier today, Jos Capita was just chatting about the future, and he was saying some nice things about you. I just wondered whether you'd had any chats about that and what might happen for next year.
I haven't heard what he said, but that's always nice to hear when your team principal is talking nice about you. No, I mean I've made it quite clear to the team and to Joost, and for next year it's no secret. I don't have a contract yet, but I want to stay here. That's clear. So I just need to prove to the team in the next races with good performances. I mean it's going to be down to that. It's not going to be down to anything else. So. 9 races to go, and that's the target.
Yeah, we had some kind of leak from the car in FP1, so I didn't get any flying laps, which is not ideal, but at least got some laps in FP2. But then the rain started at the end, which compromised the running a bit, but still got a few laps, and definitely, hopefully, get more laps tomorrow.
Is that just teething issues? There's nothing to be worried about there?
It was a simple thing as something not being properly connected. Which lost us a session, but again we learned something.
Talk about FP2 then. It wasn't a full session for everybody with the weather at the end, but how was it? You had the balance feel in the car now, you've had a decent session.
Actually the balance didn't feel too bad, just mainly struggled with the grip level, and I did my first run on the hard tyre, which is quite a big step from the soft, so I think I just need a few more laps tomorrow and figure it out.
And you're carrying some penalties for the grid on Sunday. What are the reasons behind that? Some component changes?
Yeah, some components like engine, I think. So just we had to take it at some point, and we figured this could be a good opportunity.